Hi again. Thank you for choosing In My Shoes. I'm Hilda Kathy Brody, your host. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please remember that we at In My Shoes are taking a different approach to service in the world. Today, I am bringing you something that is truly unusual and different from anything that we've done before. I know you've heard me talk about Mr. Moody. His real name is Joseph Mayan. And I talked about when I retired from Vested and I went to Garrison Training and Placement. Well, this was the benevolent gentleman that had me come over and be the director of the school. And we were doing things with people who otherwise would not have had a chance at making a decent living. You learn how to fix a transmission. Nobody cares. I mean, rebuild the transmission. Nobody cares if you can't read. Nobody cares how much jail time you did. All I want to know is, can you fix my transmission? Because I want to be on the road. So that's what we were doing there. And unfortunately, we're not there anymore, but we're here. So, Mr. Moody, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for bringing me.
Okay. And first, I got to give you a flip-flop so you can be in my shoes. There you go. Joseph Mayan.
Great. Feel good now.
Okay.
And we might do it again, Miss Brody. You never know. We did something very noble, and you were the one to push it forward. I'm sorry I retired, but I just find out that retirement is not for me.
Oh, so you have to get your own show like I did. See, this is retirement.
In general, what I'm doing now is trying to heal myself by repeating my memories, the good memories. And the bad memories, I keep it for the nightmares. I deal with it there. The good memories is mother-in-law that lived with me until she was 99 years old.
Wow.
And she passed away a week after they gave us a show, if you remember, of the program of the week, New York Man of the Week. She was in hospital and she saw it at the screen of the TV.
Wow.
And she was so excited. And that was my award of my life. I loved her very much. And I have a lot of memory with her. One of the things that she inherited to me, two things. One is her daughter.
Exactly. Wonderful wife.
Yes. And the other one, the love and respect for birds.
Ah, that's what it.
Right now, just because I'm home a lot, helping my wife, I have a chance. I live not far away from Central Park. So every morning I go there with the dogs. And in general, you look first, you enjoy the trees, the people around, Central Park. And after a while, it's like Sisyphus story. You roll the stone all the way up to the mountain until almost is there, it go back down. You have to start again in a punishment. Till one day, rolling the stone up there, he saw the season change, and he saw a little blue flower on the side of the pushing the stone. And he started to pay attention to what's happening and the change of the season and the habitat. And it was not difficult for him anymore. He enjoyed that. And that's what I'm doing in Central Park now. My last encounter with bird in Central Park was day before yesterday. Early in the morning, I saw a lot of dogs barking around something right on the runway over there. And when I came, I see the people aside, and they're talking and moving away. And when I came closer, I saw a baby bat upside down. It was a very young one. And they said, be careful, run away, move away, it's a bat, it have a rabies, and it have the... I came with my napkins and I put it on top of him, I grabbed it with his nails, and then I put him upside down back on the grass, and
He ran away?
yes. the whole thing started 20-something years ago. My beloved mother-in-law had a birthday, and somebody, I don't know even who, brought her a parakeet, a cockatiel, big parakeet. And she loved it. After a while, she loved it, and it was free, and it was sitting on her shoulder, on her head, and she was everybody take picture of her with all the birds all over her. It was something beautiful. And a few weeks later on, she said, I can't have one. I need a company. So I bought her a little parrot, lovebird, small, and they got together. And both of them were free in the house. I fell in love with them. That was my good memory. Now I had a bad memory and experience. The bad memory was that I lost that little one that I bought. His name was Cupid, a lovebird, a green lovebird. He passed away like months ago. One morning we woke up and we saw that he was not right. Took her to a doctor. The doctor said, that's a Newcastle disease. There is nothing you can do. Just warm the cage, put him back in a cage. And the big one, the cockatiel, every evening went down to the base of the cage and covered him with the wing and stay like this until the morning. And in the morning, back to eat and back with the little one. And I ate for 2-3 days, and then he passed away. So, and it was not the same family, and it was not the same type of parrot. So I learned from that even bird have a heart
And compassion.
and compassion. That was my experience.
Well, I remember somebody telling me about you with the birds. And he didn't know your name. He just said your boss. He said, I saw your boss. He said, what's up with that guy? So I said, what do you mean? He said, there was a bird laying in the street, and he went and he picked the bird up, and he put it in the back of his car, and he sat with the bird, and he had somebody, and the bird didn't fight with him and didn't just kind of laid on him. And that's a special person where the bird is not afraid anymore. And you took the bird to a sanctuary, I think?
Yes. It was a big seagull that landed over there in Hunts Point. You know, we have the meat market and the fish market and a lot of things, garbage on the street. I used to. And a lot of seagulls come around. And one of them was hurt by a car. So, and it's dangerous. He can bite very bad. So I went back to him and I approached him from the side, put him in the, and he see that I'm not about to hurt him. I put him in my jeep. And I called a lady that I know, take care of it, a vet, explained to her what happened, and she said, come on, bring it right away. But I kept it for 3 days. I loved that little seagull. I kept it. I didn't want to give her a bird that will die, and then she will be disappointed and I will be disappointed. So I kept it to make sure that he's having enough care and love, and then I gave it to her. And we, if you remember, in the shop, we had a mechanic shop with all the noise and the dust, but in the office, we had cages. In the bathroom, we had cages. Upstairs in the office, we have cages. A lot of cages. People just come and bring me birds, especially in the early spring, especially time like now. And that's what I want to ask all the tourists and all the New Yorkers and whoever go in any park, Central Park, any park. You see a little bird on the floor, just leave it there. The mother will come, the father watching you. They will come and they will take care of it. Right now we have a lot of sterling, black sterlings. We have a lot of sparrow on the floor falling from the nest. We have American robin, we have American goldfinches, we have beautiful birds. and so many that they are on the floor. The wind, like the storm, like day before yesterday, can kick the nest out of the tree and the whole thing on the floor. Leave it there. If you take it home and you are not sure how to feed it and what is the kind of food this little baby need, it will survive overnight, and then it will be heartbreaking for you. So just leave it there. That's my request and my belief that how to pass over this time. By the way, that little bird, the gray sparrow that we see all over, street, trees, houses, they are disappearing. And that's a very sad situation. In England, they are researching and checking what happened, that the bird, a very resilient bird that live under the restaurant table and wherever a coffee shop and whenever you have a picnic, they are right there, strong. They are disappearing on us. And I hope that they will find the reason and we will keep having them for years. That's the birds. Central Park, in Sunday and Saturday morning, you can see many little groups with a binocular and books going around and watching and looking at the birds. It's such a beautiful thing to look at these people discussing with each other what kind of birds. Is this an immigration? Is this a male or female? Looking at the book, and by the time they find in the picture in the book, the birds disappear. But then they sit down and wait for it and watch again. And I sit among them and listen to them and enjoy their question and their love to the birds. That's why they're there. They love something that right there free. And of course, the people, the observation people in the park, they put some food, seeds and some other stuff to bring them over so people can see. And I'm glad that nobody tried to hurt them. I didn't see people hurting birds in Central Park.
When they put the food, the Central Park Conservatory puts the food out?
Yes, they hang it on the tree in a basket, kind of a very small hole of nets, and the birds come and sit around it and just pick it out. Beautiful to see that. Also, we had a lake, the boat lake in Central Park. We used to have a swan over there. And tragically, some people, young kids that was there and have nothing to do, they found the swan, and the next morning there was no swan around. Right now, they told me that probably in a week or two they are going to bring a pair of swan back to the lake, and I'm very happy.
Okay.
Some other good memory that I have from the Bronx. I love the Bronx. I'm in love with Hunts Point. That place will be my home forever. Here and there, young children, employees' children, or customer children, or my own family child that come and visit. And you have to entertain them. You know, I cannot show them how to do a transmission or put them under the car or under the lift or and to speak with anybody else, they have to know Spanish. So I got stuck with them. I love children. So if it's not going to buy some toys in Toys R Us for them, you know, for the girls, those little tall houses and this, then I decided to do it more educationally. I drove right there, not far away from the shop, and there is a vivero shop. A vivero shop is where people coming over there to buy the chicken rooster, quails, and even a goat, and ducks, and passions that they want to eat.
Oh.
And the guy over there kill it right away, clean it, and that's how they go home and they think that we have a fresh meat for today. That kill me every day again when I pass by this shop. Nothing I can do. I cannot close it. And that's the nature of human being. It's easy for them maybe to get that from the vivero than to go to the supermarket and get it ready. And maybe even cheaper. So I went in there one day and I saw a box with like 100, almost 100 quails. I asked him how much, and he said $1.
$1.
So I gave him $100 for 100 quail, and I took the quails. Brought them to first. That's why my first feelings. I took it out, and then what to do with it? Now I start thinking what to do with it. So I took it to the shop, of course. I bought some food from there, and I took it to the shop. And in the shop, customer that came, can you give me 2? Can you give me 3? What you gonna do with it? Oh, my wife know exactly how to cook it. I said, oh, thank you very much. So I took the box, and by the end of the block, there was it's a little park, very wild park. Nobody take care of it. Trees and all kind of weeds all over. And I let them go over there, all the hundreds. I felt good, and I hope that nobody will go there and try to kill them. Next morning I came, and around my shop, like 20, 25 of them came back to the shop.
They found you.
So I took them in, and we built a nice big cage, and they were there. And then whenever I have kids coming as a visitor, I will go with the kids over there, explain to them what, and they can see. And then we buy like one day 2 ducks or 5 chickens, baby chicks, or rabbits. Whatever that we can, the little boy or girls want. He wants a rabbit and she wants this. So we take it and we let it go in that forest. And without knowing whatever happened to them, and I hope that they are just happy over there. That's my experience with birds and
Nature and
Hunts Point.
In the Bronx.
The Bronx. Not far away from the shop, the mechanic shop. It's a very colorful Spanish neighborhood. And they have a garden over there. And in the garden, it's like 4 or 5 roosters. Nice, beautiful, little, colorful roosters. And not long ago, one of the guys, I think that he was the guy that live in the street and go and hustle, work so hard, the poor thing worked so hard, collecting metal, collecting this, selling whatever. Came to me with a rooster, he said, here, you want to buy that? I said, but that belongs to that garden over there. He said, they close it. It's no more garden. You want to buy this or I kill it? I didn't have a choice. So I gave him $5 and I took it and I throw it back in that forest over there where I put all of them. Next morning he came back with the same rooster. So I learned that it's that part of life, you know. So whenever he comes, I said, yeah, just leave the rooster there. Here is $2 and just leave it there. And I have a friend for a long time to come and pick up $2 every morning and tell me what's happening around and even watch the cars that we had in the street. So if we go back to Central Park, right now is the time to enjoy and to remember. If you have a picnic there or just have a sandwich or whatever, and you leave this leftover around the rocks, and on the grass. Yes, there is a lot of rats over there that will love to have it left over from you, but the birds, that's not a good food for the birds. They love it. It's there. I'm sure it's tasty because we love it, but just like it's junk food for us, it's a junk food for them, and especially for the pigeons. And if you see a swollen pigeon sitting in the corner of somewhere by the tree, that's what she ate, and she have whatever she have. So try to don't collect, but don't throw it there. Put it in a garbage
Put it in
can.
garbage. So have you noticed that there are less pigeons as well?
Yes.
So where are the pigeons going? Because I asked that.
You don't see a dead pigeon on the street, right?
No, where are they going? People are cooking
They're
them?
dying. No,
Oh.
they are dying, but they are dying in remote places, like under the bridges where it's all those construction over there. If you go there, you will see dead pigeons.
Is it something in the water or something in the air?
I think that they are the city poisoning them for a reason.
Really?
Yes, and try to think about the reason.
You think that the pesticides are killing them? Maybe they're spraying the trees and things, and they're eating.
They don't spray the trees.
They don't spray the trees
They
anymore.
don't spray the trees. They spraying around the fence where and in between the rocks where the rats is. But the pigeon have to eat something in order to get poisoned. And I think that the city poisoned them because there are too many. And actually, they are affecting the whole environment. If you sit over there and look around, you might see a red hawk coming from the 50th floor in 5th Avenue where the pigeon in the sidewalk and zoom right on it and grab the pigeon and go. It's nature. Nature in 5th Avenue. That's what they eat. I remember once a huge hawk, a big one, came in front of the shop right there on Garrison Avenue on the sidewalk, went down on a pigeon, grabbed it, and he couldn't lift it, so he stayed there, ripping it to part, and the people coming around, and we were like 2 feet from that thing. Didn't budge. He was looking at us with his beautiful yellow eyes, and everybody tried to throw shoes on him or something, and he didn't move. So the pigeon and the hawks and the nature is there not for us to interfere. I think so. It's so beautiful.
What do you think about these hawks that are in Manhattan now? The man he said there was a nest and they had babies, and now the neighbors are complaining because it's messing with their puppies, their little dogs, the hawk.
Yes, it is true. The hawk is there, and I was one of those that demonstrate when he tried to break the nest and kick it out. The people that have a dog have to keep the dog on the leash.
They're supposed to keep the dog on a leash anyway.
And if you're going early in the morning to let it run, and you know it's a hawk, and you know it's a little dog, and you know they love to eat such a things, keep it anyway on the leash. It's no big deal. We don't have to kill hawks for that. They are so beautiful. They're so royal to see them flying over Manhattan. And there are a lot of them over there.
There's a lot?
A lot. And they are not dangerous for people.
Where did they come from, though? They didn't just show up there. Did somebody bring them? And
you know, upstate or even White Plain or even right there, City Island, it's a wild area, and the wild life is still there. And they are not far away from Manhattan. So they multiply over there, and they come over around here. We went in 5th Avenue, probably they were here much before we were. So look, the Indian, always with hawks, with this, they're simple.
I just never imagined hawks in New York. I think out west someplace, but
Why? I see it's very naturally. You know, I'm so glad that they are here. We don't have to go to Africa to the safari to see a lion killing this. We can see it over here and enjoying, and it's not killing. It's something that we really want to enjoy, to be with nature. We just have to learn to live with it, not to be afraid and be smart with this. One thing in the Bronx, in Hunts Point, is when I see the guys walking around with two huge pit bull or something like this, and this is not nature. This is a show off that makes children, maybe adults, afraid of dog, because those pit bulls, when they are not trained right, they're such a good pet, but they are not trained right. They're trained to fight. They look at you like they want to fight you, then you're afraid, and we are afraid of dogs, and then we're afraid to get our cats out of the house. We are afraid to get our little dog outside, but this is nature. Even this is nature. This is part of nature. Miss Brody,
nature lover.
I'm telling you, the time that I have now, that I resign, I see in one hand, I see what I missed all these years, to be around people. Now, if I had a chance again to be in the same position, and the love I learned to give to nature, I didn't have a patience for the people that I walk with, and they didn't have a patience for each other. But if I ever had a chance to walk with a group of people, I know how much love I will give them. I love people, and I love Hunts Point. I remember when you go home after a walk with me over there, and the shop is closed, upstairs we had a big office, and I will ask the old neighborhood people, men, women, Puerto Rican, Mexican, any kind of Spanish. I couldn't find any other type of people there. So I advertised in the bodega to come around 6 o'clock, 6:30, and in a small lettering I will put sandwiches and beer will be. The beer did it, and they come. And the reason I did that, to hear the story of the old people from their own land. I'm sure every one of them have a story. And more poor the people, more stories I think they have. Happy, sad. Some of them learn from that. Some of them republish the stories. And it was an hour or 2 hours so important for me to hear their stories. And one day they said, well, we want to hear your stories.
Gotcha.
I said, okay. But before that, next time you come, I have something to read to you in Spanish, so you will enjoy. Spanish from Spain. Okay, goodbye. They came the next day, or after days. And I brought with me a poem book of Gracia Lorca. And I sat over there and I asked one of the that speak English over there to read the poem to them. Surprise, surprise. Many of them knew how to end up the poem. You read 2 words and they finish it. So they knew it. And I didn't think, I thought I'm more civilized. I know Lorca since high school. I love it because I love poem. And here these people, all Puerto Rican people, all Dominican things, they know, and I'm sure they know it better than I do. And they explain to me so many of that. The symbol of the green olive trees in his poems. And I told them what I think it is. And one of them, he said, "You're wrong. That's the view they have. They didn't try to make it like a symbol of death or a symbol of love." And the colorful way a matador go into arena. And why we don't have to be upset with him when he stick the knife into that bull's shoulder. And why in Mexico they don't kill the bull. So I learned so much. And now for my age here, if I ever have a chance to go back to do this kind of thing, I know that I will do it million times better and enjoy it and give the people as much as I know. I love that time, Miss Brody. I put aside the mechanic parts and this and that. I will just, my memories with the people that work with us, with the student. If you remember, we had a student over there, young one, didn't talk a word, didn't want to talk. And he spent with us like 6 months.
Yeah,
And after 6 months, one morning again he sang, "Good morning," he says, "good morning." He was studying, you remember? It was for me something else.
Uplifting.
He got over.
We called his
What?
counselor.
Yes.
He's talking over here. You said he don't talk. The kid is talking. No, he's not talking. That's what his counselor said. No, he's not. Yes, he's talking. Come on, you want to hear him? Come on, bring him. Come on over and look. Look, he's talking.
Yes. Didn't stop talking after a while.
You couldn't shut him up.
Yes. He wanted to go to high school, and I think you sent him somewhere to get ready to get for high school, and he went to high school. I'm so glad for him. We helped so many disabled, and they were disabled. We had some deaf people that graduate, and many of them in touch with me. I have at home the kitchen door both sides and the living room door both sides full of pictures of their children. And if you remember, in the office we have their children
Yes.
all over. And wherever one of the kids had a birthday, they right away let me know 2 days before to go to
Toys R Us.
to where they bake the
cakes.
cake, to bring the big cake. It was a beautiful. I came here to talk about birds,
And we talk about everything.
and we talk about everything, and thank you for letting me get it out. I know that.
Because it's a joy. And people, when you watch TV a lot, you see all the negative stuff, and nobody really is noticing the little tiny things in life that bring joy.
Yes.
And a smile. We were just talking about if you walk down the street and you smile at somebody, do they smile back?
I tell you what, who smile back? A little kids in the carriage, babies.
Yes.
When I walk with my dog and they see my dog and they cannot talk, but they said, he like this and happy. I stop and I come close to them so they can touch the dog. That's make me happy. People very close, yeah, we have our own. You know, it's funny what you said now because I'm thinking about a lot. It's nothing we can change on the people, but we can make believe that we can change. I'm writing a lot of stories now. I published one little tiny, and I'm doing another short stories. Of my childhood was very, very poor but beautiful, and some other people misery, that I'm changing it. I make a neighbor that was very poor and a sick husband. This me when I was kids. I just made her a ballerina, and I bringing her from the Middle East over here to Central Park to be not far away from me. And on the way from there to there, I'm going with her into her basement where she lived with a sick husband, poorness, and make her life better, and I feel better for it. I know that if I think about it and I'm writing it, somewhere it happened in my imagination and in the imagination of whoever will read that story. So I'm bringing it back alive in a better way. I cannot make people smile unless I will be a clown or something. But I can write things that if they will read, they will make them smile. That's one way.
And that's all we can ask for. If you could smile a couple of times a day, it beats the heck out of crying, screaming.
Oof. And what you are doing
is doing what I do. Because, I mean, you said, oh, retirement is different for you.
Yes.
It's having you think about you and what you want for change and doing what you want, because that's what I'm very selfish now. I do what I want, with whom I want, when I want, and how I want. And that's the joy of retirement.
Yes.
Because you have that option.
You are right, but you have to have the guts and the willing, and not to be afraid of get off the horse. You are there. It's over. You're down now. What I'm trying to do now, Miss Brody, maybe you can help me.
I can try.
You know, I used to dance tango a lot. I love dancing. I taught tango, Argentine tango. And I see, like in my building, elderly people, I mean, before I didn't notice them. I go early to work, I come back late, tired, eat, TV, finish, yeah. And now I'm home all day and I see them in the elevator coming down, old people with a cane, even my wife. Look what happened to her all of a sudden. I was thinking, they are not going to the gym across the street because it's for the young kids with their thing, you know, to go to the gym so they can see them in the window running and jogging. We cannot. So the little exercise we can do, like dancing, not with all kind of complicated things, simple dance. You move, you turn around, you hug somebody.
So do they have a community center there?
No.
No?
I want to put a sign in my building, and then maybe the building across the street, and start teaching them tango, and we dance 3-4 times a week at night time, whenever they want. I will feel good, and they will feel good, and maybe it will catch in New York and be something for elderly people. Even here in the Bronx, you know how many old people, old 50, 60, retirement. They don't go to the gym. Not everybody run jogging in Central Park, but they need the exercise and the joy, and you are in the music.
Okay.
With somebody. It's Margot. Are they calling you?
Okay, stop. Okay, I wanted to hear you.
And I think it's a good idea.
I think it's a good idea, but I'm trying to think where. Because I know there's a place in the Bronx where they do have senior, it's called Forever Young. And they do have dancing and for senior citizens, but that's only for people who are eligible to have home health assistance at home health, and who have Medicaid. So you were saying let's open it up to all the seniors.
In the building. You don't have to
the
go
building,
nowhere.
because
The
you have
white people
basements.
from Manhattan, they were not going to come to the Bronx to dance with these people in the Bronx. They have their noise there.
Okay.
I don't care. But come and exercise.
Okay, but do they have, like, where do you go, in the basement?
We have in the building, every building have
community room?
Community room,
Oh,
or even
okay.
outside, you know, you have a nice open area at nighttime when it's cool. They
Okay.
bring the wine, bring the orange juice, the
And
milk.
bring the music.
Bring your medicine with you. And
I hear you. I hear you.
how about that?
So
I
now
want
you
to push this idea.
okay?
I have to talk with the board. The board have to
Approve it.
Yes, and then I will go with it. And lately I'm thinking about it. Why? Because I met some student that I have years ago, Tango and Moody. Why don't you come? And right now, I think next week it's gonna be the dancing in Lincoln Center in the area. Every night is gonna be dancing different rock and salsa and tango and all.
And you go in to dance?
Of course.
Of course, of course.
I take Margot and she sit there and she encourage me. But I don't go only with special occasion with Margot, with my wife. I won't leave her alone.
Okay.
Didn't we talk a lot?
Yes, I did. I want to thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure.
Okay.
And if something will come out of this idea of tango, I'll let you know.
You'll come here and you'll bring your students and they'll dance on my show. And they'll really be in shoes.
Definitely.
Okay? And to
Thank
my
you.
audience, I need to say,
Thank you.
I want to thank you again for choosing In My Shoes. And see, wasn't this different? Happy times are coming. Thank you so much. See you next week.
Thank you.
We are broadcast all over the world on www.bronxnet.org, live streamed on Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. And we're also on YouTube and Facebook. I talk about a lot of the things that I did because I think that they are noteworthy in that just because you don't have money doesn't mean you can't get what you need. I know I talked about when I was 11 and I really wanted to be a photographer, but I wanted art lessons. And my family says, what is with this child? Where is she going? So, and I said, but I really want art lessons. So what I did was, there was an artist, Marilyn Marks. She lived on the first floor of my grandmother's building. And I went to her and I said, she needed a model and I needed art lessons. So we struck up a deal. I would model for her and she would teach me art. Now, the good thing about this is I seem to always get, and I can smile about this, what I want. Really, really, really. I have not really been, I mean, it never came all the time when I wanted it to come, but it did come. And I found out that an artist, I was not. I mean, I learned colors, but I still can't draw a straight line with a ruler. So I was a good model, though. I could sit for hours and never move, which is a good thing for an artist. But photography was what I wanted to do, and I got to do that as well. I even got to, go in the darkroom and learn how to develop my own stuff. We have to convince our young people to learn how to reach out. If there's no real job, I cleaned hallways, I mopped floors, I dragged out garbage cans, I cooked, I baked, I crocheted. We do what we have to do. But our children have to realize that there are options that we do have. We don't have to sit back and, oh, boo-hoo, I don't have. What is it that you want, and what are you willing to do to get it? I wanted to finish college. I was homeless. But I crocheted scarves, hats, pants. No, I didn't do pants. I did skirts and vests. Just because people would pay, and it wasn't a lot of money, but it was enough to get me. We've spoken many times about drug addiction, and I know that most of us have had someone in our family or know someone who had an addiction. I wrote horror in 1970 something, early 70s, because I had this problem in my household too. The whore done invaded my house. $4 to throw all you need. She's turning on everybody like a bitch in heat. Don't give damn about age, race, color, or creed. Yes, the white whore got into my house, crept in on the point of a needle. She done stole my brothers from their lives, forcing them to desert their wives, destroyed all their minds. She's dangerous, evil. And I wrote that in 1973. And guess what? The whore is still around. What are we doing about it? Katrina Glover was a guest on my show, and she shared with us some of her devastating childhood, and it brought to mind my childhood. And when I was young, horrible, horrible things happened to me as well, and one of them was rape. So I wrote about everything that happened to me, though. So I wrote raped, ragged, torn, ragged, clothes torn ragged, ripped, and soiled. Escape, can't escape, clothes torn ragged, ripped, and soiled. Maiden, no more maiden. Bodies all ragged, ripped, and soiled. That's from 1969. But it kind of depicts what we feel when we are violated by pedophiles or creeps. Katrina says that's how it made her feel too. And we're having so many difficulties. People are trying to take on too much, or suffering, and some things you just have to remember. Lessons for dancing in the rain. Quote, life isn't about how to survive the storm, but how to dance in the rain. Unknown, unquote. When life circumstances start to kick you in the pants, dance through the pain. Prance into a joyful refrain, my friend. Decline to remain, you can abstain. You gotta do your part right from the start by rejecting the invitation to the pity party. Quote, life isn't about how to survive the storm, but how to dance in the rain. Unknown, unquote. Which soon will seem like a blessing. That for which you cannot control, you do not worry about. Put it on a back burner until you have command, until you are at the helm and no longer overwhelmed. Quote, life isn't about how to survive the storm, but how to dance in the rain. Unknown, unquote. I'm talking about taking charge, not accepting defeat, overpowering it by moving your feet. No, 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 no. Never, ever fleeing. I mean, trouncing it with every fiber of your being. Quote, life isn't about how to survive the storm, but how to dance in the rain. Unknown, unquote. Life is about living. If you are failing to plan, then you are planning to fail. Being armed for any eventuality is a primary step for making your dreams a vivid reality. Quote, life isn't about how to survive the storm, but how to dance in the rain. Unknown, unquote. Overcoming obstacles, trials, and tribulations, making it through tomorrow when all there seems to be is sorrow. expecting the traps, enduring life's kicks and slaps is what living is about, no doubt. Quote, life isn't about how to survive the storm, but how to dance in the rain. Unknown, unquote. Come on! It's only rain. You are not sugar. You won't melt. We can only get wet in the thunderstorm that is life. So let's all dance. Every now and then, I'm not going to have a guest, as I said, because it's In My Shoes. That's the name of my show. And I'm going to share with you because I want people to understand, especially our youth and some of our older people, that sometimes life feels like it's not quite going the way we want it to go. But we have so many people who are willing to help us if we ask for help. We have so many situations that can be fixed if we just reach out and touch. And that's what In My Shoes is about. We're coming up with the viable solutions to some of the problems that seem to be insurmountable. And I hope to see you real soon. Thank you again for choosing In My Shoes. Till next week.
Yeah, M-Wham got a message for you. I've been less offended by the boxers, all the sagging pants in our community. I got a song for you. Check it out. Here we go. Come on.
Pull your pants up, pull your pants up. Pull your pants up, pull your pants up. Pull your pants up, pull your pants up.
Yeah.
It's the new style.
Come on, Colette, talk to me.
Say, Mr. Harris, sagging jeans is an epidemic.
That's right.
One that I've never been a fan of. And I can't stand how these young men, they sagging, they dragging. Come on, pull your pants up. And I know us girls, we in the wrong for not putting these fellas on.
You got the power.
But I'm offended by boxers. And I think that we all should be.
Come on, help me.
Pull your pants up, pull your pants up.
Yeah.
Pull your pants up, pull your pants up. Pull your pants up, pull your pants up.
Why?
It's the new style.
Come on.
Pull your pants up, pull your pants up.
Yeah.
Pull your pants up, pull your pants up. Pull your pants up, pull your pants up. It'll make your mama proud.
Here we go.
We living in a world affected by an epidemic. Sagging jeans and sweatpants is how I'm living. Need to set the example to make the future right. So hey, our message when we hit you with the chance.
Pull your pants up, pull your pants up. Pull your pants up,
It's kinda catchy.
pull your pants up, pull your pants up. It's the new style. Pull your pants up, pull your pants up. Pull your pants up, pull your pants up. Pull your pants up, pull your pants up. It'll make your mama proud.
I know you heard your belt say. You know your belt was talking to you this morning. Said, come on, just take me with you. I just wanna help you all day keep your pants